Jealousy is a female's trait. And the maid turn a Tina when I'm about my cake. Got the ride for the cars, you can beat my bait. With these bars, I'm a star, won't shoot till I'm great.
What is going on, YouTube? We are back again with another Finesse in Reality with your boy D. What's good, y'all? Man, I know it has been a few weeks. I wanted to get that episode 4 of the challenge out to you last week, but I went on a vacation, went on a cruise to the Bahamas, enjoyed myself, so I couldn't get it to y'all. So we are here today. I got episodes 4 and 5 of the challenge, Vendettas, season 31. We gonna jump right into it. It's a lot to cover. Let's see what we got going on. This episode starts out with Alicia getting voted in to go against Melissa. We know Melissa automatically gets put into the elimination because she injured her foot. And the vote is between Alicia, Cam, and Kaylee. Alicia ends up getting voted in, sort of part of Johnny Bananas' final vendetta against Corey. Before we get too far ahead of that, I do want to comment on one thing. I didn't know about this. Like, I didn't really notice it at the time it happened, but I seen a video that Corey put out on Facebook, YouTube, whatever it was. I seen it on YouTube, wherever he put the video out, that Eddie went home early. So I didn't really notice that because, like I said a couple episodes ago, I was like, you don't see anything about Eddie walking around. You don't see any conversations with him or anything like that. So Corey let it be known that apparently something happened between Eddie and Alicia in the house where they got into it. Corey stepped in and him and Eddie got into it a little bit. It's not really too clear on what exactly transpired, but we know they got into it, and then Eddie disappears from the show. It doesn't make it past like the second episode. So they never talked about it. They never brought it up. Nobody ever addressed it. They never show any clips of it. So it's sort of interesting to see what all happened with that. That's probably something they're saving for the finale, and they're going to expose it at the finale. But it's definitely something to take a note of. And it doesn't look like anybody took his spot either. So I'm not quite sure on how many people are left in this game. Or how many people it started off with. I think it started off with like 20, 22 people or something like that. So that was, I don't know, I want to say a disappointment because I wasn't really, I didn't really care about Eddie, but that was just, I didn't like how they chopped it up and he just disappeared. He was there the first episode and boom, he was just gone. They should at least addressed it or something. This competition that Alicia and Melissa have to do, they have to build a ladder as they climb it, and then when they get to the top, they have to ring their bell. And Alicia looked like she was doing good. She looked like she was getting the hang of it. She didn't have anybody rooting for her for real. Like, I think maybe like one person might have said her name the whole time. Everybody else was rooting for Melissa, and Melissa wins and gets the grenade. And it's so funny that everybody was rooting for Melissa in this episode, but then when we get to the next episode, it takes all the turn. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But the grenades are, she either chooses the team, or she chooses somebody to drink a gallon of milk, or not even a gallon of milk, a gallon of cream before the next competition. So if it's an eating competition, that's bad. If it's an endurance competition, that's bad. That's a whole gallon of cream. Like, that's just gonna sit on your stomach and just not gonna work. And the last one is she gets to choose somebody to sit out. And with this, if she chooses somebody to sit out, they automatically lose and go into the elimination. That would have been a big grenade that she could have used to her advantage. If she wanted to. If she has somebody in mind that she wants to get out of here right now, get them into the elimination, that would have been the chance to do it. That would have been her play right there. So we get back into the house. Everybody's everybody's happy. Nobody's really upset that Alicia's gone. She wasn't really friends with too many people. All she really had was Corey. And then this was just so funny. Melissa's she's so not into the whole, like, her and Nicole are together. Like she's been saying, like, usually I go for guys. Like, I've never had feelings for a girl before. I don't know how true that is, whatever the case may be. But then they're in the bed, and she's like, can you pleasure me and I pleasure you? I just found that was funny. I was like, she tried to shoot her shots and trying to make her baskets, but she like not smooth about it. She didn't know really how to go into it. So I just thought that was funny. I made a little note of that. And we got Marie and Brad. They get into it over some pizza. I guess they had pizza delivered. There's a whole bunch of pizza. And Marie took a box to her room, and Brad called her out for taking a box to her room and come back to get more pizza. Something real stupid, Brad's trying to, he's trying to make himself seem like the moral person, trying to seem like, oh, I was looking out for everybody else outside that hasn't eaten, all these other people, all these other things. Like, no, it doesn't really matter. There is plenty of pizza. If y'all wanted more pizza, I'm not, were they going to tell y'all, no, y'all we're not getting any more pizza? Like, was there nothing else to eat? Like, it was no commotion. If these people didn't come inside to get the pizza, why they're not worried about the pizza? Why are you worried about the pizza? That's what I'm just confused on. So they get into it a little bit, and then Brad ends up going to lay down with Brittany, and Marie takes 4 pizza boxes and throws it on him. Now, it wasn't as funny as it could have been, because if none of the pizza boxes opened up, she didn't dump it on his bed. It wasn't no mess. She just literally threw the boxes on the bed. They just stayed, basically stacked on top of each other. And he started flipping out even more, talking about just all this extra stuff. And it was just unnecessary to me. So, that's another thing I want to point out. As soon as somebody does one thing, just because the name of the show is Vendettas, they're throwing around this word vendetta so much. You have never heard vendettas be said on the challenge before this season. And now anytime you do one thing to one person, it's like, oh, I got a new vendetta. No, everything isn't that deep. Yeah, you got a little beef with somebody, but beef roll over as the season goes. Vendettas stay season to season. They've been Corey and Johnny Bananas, that's a vendetta. That is not going to end this season, next season, the season after this. Nobody's going to be worried about your little pizza fit. For real, cut it out. This new challenge that they come up to is a Food Wars challenge. They come up looking like a game show. TJ's dressed in a suit and everything, like he's an announcer, like an old school game show. And he tells them, what we're going to do, we're going to break up into 7 teams of 3, 1 team of 2. You're going to have a trivia competition. First team to buzz in, if they get the answer right, they're safe from eating. And they get to choose another team that's safe from eating. The rest of the teams have to send one rep down, and they have to eat for whatever it is. There's a whole list of board of things that they have to eat from. With this, Melissa chooses the team. She wants that to be her grenade. She chooses teams. And yes, choosing the team, especially on this type of competition, choosing the teams can be very, very critical and can save you. But the way she chooses the teams, it's for what? She put herself, she's like, I'm putting myself with the strongest I feel like that can get through this. And she put herself with Devin and Shane. They're not really the strongest I've seen in competition as far as eating. Devin and Shane, as far as manipulating and doing, hustling, all that, I give it to them. They're my guys. Them actually some people I want to see get far in this game. So I give it to them. But she didn't really set herself up to be in the best position. And not only that, her number 1 alliance member, Nicole, she gave her 2 bucks. I forgot who she put her up with. I think it was Jamie was one of the girls she put Nicole with. And I can't remember who the guy she put up with. But it's I don't know what she was thinking. She just felt what were you doing? You could have just took something else. You've wasted it. It wasn't no point in your grenade. You really wasted it. And it didn't work out in her favor. Off the first question, Johnny answers. And it was what's the capital of Spain, I believe. And Johnny and his team is Johnny, Kaylee, and Cara Maria. So they're on the team together. That threw me off as well. Johnny and Cara Maria are competition beasts. Why would you put them on the same team? Even if it's food competition, no matter what it is, I would never want these two on the same team because they are beasts. Individually, they're beasts. Together, they are even better. So that just threw everything off. But anyways, Johnny gets the answer right, and he chooses to save Leroy's team. Everybody else has to go eat, and they choose rotten cheese. Man, that cheese was so green. It was so gritty. It looked like stuffing, but cheese. It looked so disgusting. And Johnny actually proved to be, something useful right there. He knocked everybody out, all the teams out, except for Tony's team, because Tony was able to eat the cheese in the amount of time. Nobody else ate the cheese in the time that they had. So all the teams are knocked out. And that leaves 3 teams. So on the next question, Johnny's team answers it again, gets it right, and that leaves the other two teams. He doesn't get to save anybody because there's only 3 teams left. So the other 2 teams come down, and Leroy goes down for his team, and Tony goes down again for his team. And Johnny's team chooses marshmallows, which I'm like, marshmallows, that's easy. But it was so many marshmallows, like, and then they're drying their mouths out. They didn't have anything to drink, nothing at all. But Tony was able to pull out that win as well and get all the marshmallows down, knocking Leroy's team out. So that leaves Tony, Zach, and Marie versus Cara Marie, Kaylee, and Johnny Bananas. So, last round of this competition, and TJ's like, you know what? Both of y'all send a representative down, and I'm going to choose the snack for y'all, if you want to call it a snack. They send out Marie, or not Marie, they send out Tony. Tony goes out for the 3rd time. Third time eating something. Tony goes out there, and they send out Cara Marie. And TJ chooses mayonnaise. Oh my God. I look like, oh, that looks so disgusting. It was a whole bowl of mayonnaise. They just scooping it. That was so disgusting. Like, I don't like mayonnaise like that. Like, I eat it on a chicken sandwich, but it's like a very little bit. Like, when I go to Subway, I make sure when they do mayonnaise, I say 1 line of mayonnaise. I don't like the mayonnaise dripping out. I don't need none of that. So that was just so disgusting. Tony pulls it out again and clutches this competition for his team. He did it all. Like, every step of the way was Tony. He had everybody cheering for him on the outside. It's Tony time. So Tony really proved himself this episode and got the win for his team. And not only does he get the win for his team, that puts him in the Troika. So the Troika is now Marie, Zach, and Tony. But since everybody else got out without being able to eat, they have to decide who is going to be in the last place team. And whatever team they decide, that team has to decide who is going to be into elimination. And they choose, I mean, it was a good choice on Tony's behalf. They chose Brad, Josh, and Sylvia to be the last place team. Now, Brad and Tony already got their beef from something that happened on Twitter, whatever. Sylvia and Tony had their beef from a couple challenges ago when Sylvia turned her back on the Real World family and went with the other people that she was in the game with. So they've been beefing since then. And now those 3 people have to decide which one of them are going to go into elimination. And Brad instantly throws out Sylvia's name, like hot fire. He was ready with it and throws out her name. And Sylvia's like, I volunteered to go eat. None of the guys, Josh and Brad, did not want to go eat the rotten cheese. Or before they even knew it was rotten cheese. They didn't want to go eat anything. They didn't go out there. And Sylvia was the only one who went out there. So it's like, that was messed up. That was hella messed up. And Josh didn't have any backbone to go against Brad. It's like, you have no loyalty to Brad. I would have went against Brad just to put him in, like, Sylvia's about to say Brad's name. I'm going to say Brad's name too. But the thing about the competition was it was a genderless elimination. So it could have been men or women. So if Josh would have said Brad's name, that would have made it a man's elimination, and that would have still gave him the chance of being put in. But since Sylvia was the only other choice, it was a women's competition, and that would save Josh. So that is the only reasoning I would have had to say Sylvia's name. But as far as what I would have done personally, I would have said Brad's name. Because that Sylvia put herself up there and was like, I'll go do it since y'all don't want to do it. And I got respect for that. This is how this episode ends. It ends with them talking. So we're just going to jump right over into episode 5. Episode 5 jumps in, and my boy Shane, like, I like him for multiple reasons. Not only is he an underdog and he's actually a better competitor and stronger in everything, in many ways than what you may think, like just by looking at him or anything like that. So I like him for that, but I also like him because he stirs the pot up good. He'll get in there with get in there. He stirs it up. And he stirs it up with Brad and Sylvia's situation, talking about, yeah, you broke her heart, and it starts asking questions like, if it was Brittany in that situation, who would you have said? And just starts stirring the pot up little by little. And that's what's why, like, he hasn't stood out in the competitions yet, but his social game is just on point all the time. Every season, it's just, you know, I like that. I'm actually happy that the Troika had the decency to go to Sylvia and ask her, who do you want? Since we know they did you wrong to throw you in, who do you want in this competition or in this elimination so you could come back? Who do you want to take out? I am disappointed that Sylvia took a little, she sold herself short and was like, I want Kaylee and Melissa. Like, oh, you know, those are, look from appearance wise, and from so far in this competition, those are the weakest women in the show right now. As, like, I'm not saying they're the weakest, but what we're looking at, they appear to be the weakest. So she ain't getting no respect from me for that. Like, if I'm going into the elimination, I'm going in with a Corey mindset. I want to take out the best. Like, I don't want to just take out the worst player so I can get back into the house. No, I want to actually make my elimination worth something. I want to take somebody out because I'm going in guns blazing. So it don't matter who you put in there. I'm going my hardest. That's all I want. But they say, cool, we going to give you who you want. We got Kaylee and we got Melissa. That's cool. Now this third person, who is that going to be? And they throw out the name Brittany. She's like, cool, if y'all want Brittany, throw her in there, whatever. I just want these two. They disperse and go about their way. Brad comes up to Tony and tries to save face after, even though Tony was put up for elimination when Brad was in the in the Troika, Brad never talked to Tony privately. But as soon as the tables turn, he gets to trying to save face and trying to talk to Tony, and then last minute tries to throw Brittany in the mix and say, save Brittany too, like save my girl this week. And of course Tony says, yeah, you know, shakes, whatever in the moment. But as the Troika gets to deliberating, Brittany's name comes up, Kaylee name comes up, and Melissa's name comes up. So those are the three nominated for elimination. At the Inquisition, Melissa, she started off good. The way they cut this, based off of what they were talking about afterwards, we missed a lot of conversation. But I like Melissa coming in, and she was like, I put y'all teams together, and y'all are the Troika because I put y'all on the team, so I gave y'all money, repay that karma to me by not putting me in the elimination. And yes, that makes sense, but also like, you didn't do your job to win. You didn't put the teams together for us to win. You thought you were doing something else. So it doesn't really sit over with them too well. And then the conversation turns to, oh, so what's up with you and Nicole? Are you trying to hurt her? Are you this and all that? And it was like, should we keep you around for Nicole? It sort of went away from the competition and went about their relationship, which I'm not sure what had to do with, like, what that had to do with anything. And then you don't really see anything about Kaylee, how she fought her way out of it. I can't even remember what she said. And then Brittany throws it out there that if y'all don't vote me in, I'll make sure Brad is on my page and he'll move when I move. Basically saying she can control Brad. Like, I mean, the power of the pussy is powerful. It's powerful. But I think Brad is a loose cannon regardless of who he's with, what he's doing. I don't think he wants to be controlled. He doesn't have the personality to be controlled. He wants to be in people's faces. He wants to get into it. So she's really trying to throw anything out there to save herself. And I'm not sure if it ends up working. But, she didn't get voted in. So there's that. When they go out that night, Kaylee and Nicole are talking. Kaylee's trying to convince Nicole that Melissa is so bad for her. Just wait. Go watch on YouTube. Go look at her other shows. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, why are you wasting your breath on people? If Nicole wants to pursue Melissa, let her pursue Melissa. This has nothing to do with you. Like, even if it's your vendetta, what they got going on has nothing to do with you. You just look like a bitter Betty. And just need to go find your own man. Like, where's Nelson at? What you feeling, Nelson? Go worry about what Nelson is doing. Don't worry about other people. Like, when they get back to the house, Cam tries to pull Melissa to the side, but says she wants to have a meeting with everybody. I was confused on what was going on. Like, what was Cam's purpose? Again, mind your own business. What she does with her body, what she does with her legs, what she does with whatever is none of your doggone business. So Cam and Melissa start getting into it because Cam, like, I'm not gonna say she came at her sideways, but she tried to put her foot down and mark her territory. It was like, I'm gonna tell you it to your face because you said bring it to your face, and this like I'm so confused on what's going on because they're talking about Melissa trying to win the game by opening her legs. She's only been with, from what we know, I have seen, she has only been with Nicole. The way they're making it seem like she's just going around flirting with everybody, trying to sleep with everybody, tugging on everybody, kissing. Like, I'm so confused on what she is doing that is just so bad that from last week y'all were just cheering her name to come back. And now this week apparently the whole house is against her and they keep talking about her reputation in the house. So there's something we're missing. The viewers are missing something that is going on in this mix. And like I don't know what it is. So I'm really interested in finding out what that is. But Melissa and Cam, they get to pushing each other a little bit, a little shoulder bump, hands behind your back, do something, bro, do something, bro. And I just really feel that Cam is trying too hard to make her mark on this game. She is really in everybody's business. She's getting in people's faces. And I really don't feel like she has to do all that. She needs to lay low a little bit and don't need to piss everybody off. Like, you're a rookie. This is your first season. You don't need a whole bunch of beef to follow you from season to season. So I really think that she should be smarter about how she goes about things. She doesn't have to be the opinionated person, or even yet, she doesn't have to voice her opinion all the time. And I feel like that's where she's going to have her downfall. Then she had the other girls had her back and was like, Kayla's telling Melissa, like, calm down for she'll knock you out. Like, calm down, she'll knock you out. But then 5 minutes later, it goes and says, I've known them the same amount of time. So if you know them the same amount of time, how you know she gonna knock her out? Like, what, like, and the Troika goes in to discuss what they want to do. They have Melissa, Brittany, and Kaylee up for nominations. And to be honest, in my opinion, anybody but Brittany is a wasted elimination. Because not only is Sylvia a strong competitor and she does bring it, but Kaylee and Melissa haven't really shown anything that they're worthy of being here, that they're a threat to somebody's position or a threat to take the money. So I really feel like anything but Brittany is a wasted opportunity, because if you get Brittany in there, not only does that give you a chance to either get Sylvia out, who, like I said, is a strong competitor, or get Brittany out, who is a strong competitor and has an alliance with Brad. And so that's where my vote would have been. I don't care if I would have ruffled some feathers up, because you just got Brittany and Brad. Everybody else wanted Brittany to be up there. So I don't see any winning side of not putting Brittany in. But they do not put Brittany in. They actually vote in Melissa to go against Sylvia. And in this competition, it is called Oil and Water. This was a great competition between these two girls. And what they had to do, there was a pit of like layered with oil, not a whole bunch of oil, but just layered with oil, and they had to lather themselves up with oil. And then on the other side of the pit was a pegboard, and TJ was dropping a ball down the pegboard. They had to get the ball from the pit and put it into their barrel. They had to do this 3 times. The key was that they had to stay on their knees, so they couldn't get up and run around, even though that's probably a safety issue, because if you get up and try to run, you slip, it was going to be over. But it was really good. What's her name? Melissa is really feisty. She is really scrappy and really agile. So she was using all her limbs everywhere, wrapping up Sylvia, everything, all that she could do. She did score real quick and got it to 1-0. But after that, Sylvia came out with a more of a calm and more patient demeanor, just waiting for for Melissa to attack, because Melissa was attack, and she just really tired her out and was able to tie it up to 1-1. Now, during this competition, the game had to be paused due to the fact that Sylvia squared up with Melissa. It was like she raised her hand, and I don't know if she would have swung if they didn't blow that whistle, but it was pretty close to looking like she was about to swing on Melissa. What happened is, like I said, Melissa's scrapping. She's doing all that she can. She kneed her in the groin. That looked pretty bad. That looked pretty bad, okay? And then Melissa was like on the bottom, was like trying to wrap her legs around Sylvia's like chest, face, or whatever, and like hit her with the heel to like her cheekbone area. Now, what she was trying to do, I understood what she was trying to do. Did Sylvia get caught with a cheap shot? No, I don't necessarily think so. I think that it was just the heat of the moment, and Melissa's doing all that she can to survive and everything. So I don't think she did it on purpose, but she did catch her, and Sylvia squared up with her, and that was about to get real good. Like that, man, that was about to get real crazy. But I don't think Melissa did anything intentionally to hurt her. Now that knee to the stomach, that's the only thing that I'm skeptical. Like, whoa, that's a little off. But everything else, they were pulling hair. They said she bit her. I don't know. Like this. It was a scrappy event. Like, and TJ said it before. He said, y'all gonna get real dirty. So I don't think that it was anything intentional to hurt Sylvia. But Sylvia does come out on top and gets the new grenade and sending Melissa home. Like I said, nobody really loses with this. Only person who loses is Nicole, because Nicole no longer has a cuddle buddy. But everybody else, nobody's position was threatened by Melissa. So it's just really, another day, another dollar. One thing I do want to say about this episode, I do feel like it was dragged out a little bit. Instead of getting a competition and then maybe a tease to another competition, we went the whole episode no competition and ended it the last 10 minutes on a competition. I don't really like that, just because the drama in the house can get so too much. Like it can be unnecessary at times. If you're not, especially when they don't show you the whole thing. They're only showing you specific clips of certain moments, and it's not really the juiciest moments, or it's not really the full details that you would like. So I would rather see them compete. So with that, I just felt like when I was watching this episode, the first time I watched it, I was really feeling dragged along, and I'm like, man, when is this competition? When is this competition? But like I said, I watched it 2 times, because the first time I just watched it for enjoyment. Second time I watched it to take my notes so I can make the videos. So the second time was actually more pleasurable, because I knew what was coming, and I didn't feel like I was just anticipating the competition every time it went to a commercial break. But I don't know. They did the same thing with Are You the One this season. They switched up the routine and changed around stuff. I don't really like that. I don't know what's going on with the producing of the shows, but I liked how you open with the competition and then you close with the competition, or you open with them after the competition, have a mid-competition, and then tease the elimination, or anything in like that. I don't like the one competition for the whole episode. I mean, like I said, we're watching for the drama, but we're really watching for the competition with the drama on the side. So I don't know what to expect coming up, but we still got all the big hitters in this game. It's still anybody's game. Anybody can really pull this off. And I want to see somebody on these next few episodes use a grenade as they're supposed to be used. Blow up somebody's game. Use it to put somebody in last place. Use it to take away somebody's opportunity to compete and just put them in the elimination. Anything that can use it to get you further ahead, I want to see. The only issue with that, I think, is what people are thinking is, okay, if I use this to put them in the elimination, even if they get eliminated, knowing the challenge from the past few seasons, they have done redemption houses and different things that let people come back in the game. So I think that's probably what's on people's mind. Like, I don't want to burned too fast, and then I get caught blindsided at midway through the season. They rather get through and make sure nobody's coming back. Then they want to start really throwing the punches and throwing the grenades out there. So that would be interesting to see what happens with that. Other than that, I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, that competition was good, so it did hold me over and did make me feel good about what is to come. And I think that alliances need to start being drawn as well. Nobody's really talking about too much alliances. A lot of couples paired off, but nobody's really making a big alliance, except one person that is sort of talking alliances and things like that is Kayla. She is really trying to run things with Kayla, Cam, Marie, and I think Natalie as well is sort of in that mix too. So she is really being opinionated and really trying to step up and be the leader, it looks like. She doesn't have Jenna, which was her partner last time. So I really think she's on her own trying to find a new flock of women to ride with. And I don't know how this is going to work out for her. She did make it to not the final, but right before the finals of last season's Dirty 30. So we do know that she can compete and does bring it when she needs it. So it's definitely interesting seeing her by herself. She's sort of taking on the Cara Maria role this season, instead of, since Cara Maria is older and has burned a lot of bridges and she is to herself really. See, I see Kayla sort of falling into where Cara Marie left off. But guys, this has been another episode of Finesse and Reality. Don't forget to go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friend, tell their mom, tell your dog, tell everybody. Don't forget, I will be doing Celebrity Big Brother. I am excited for that. I did take a quick look at who is on there, but I didn't really want to, form too much opinions first. I want to really get into the game and want to see how they do. So be on the lookout for those videos as well. And don't forget, keep on finessing.
Roll your window and breeze through the grind. Feel the flow, the wind blows all the time. Find your wings and rule things as you climb, man. Can I be honest?